Spring training is coming to an end, and for two teams, we've already had opening day. Those Korea games were a lot of fun. And for the rest of MLB, it's coming up just next week. So today I'm going to break down a couple dark horse candidates for the major MLB awards. I've got one for each Rookie of the Year, three for each Cy Young, and three for each MVP. Now, a couple bits of criteria I'm using to choose these players. They've got to have odds of plus 2,000 or worse, so 20 to 1. They're long shots. And they also can't have won the award in the past, so somebody like Mike Trout is plus 2,000 to win AL MVP, but he's not eligible because we know he can do it. I'm pulling these odds on March 20th from DraftKings, so they're obviously subject to change. Kicking things off for AL Rookie of the Year, I'm looking at Guardians first baseman Kyle Manzardo. Now, this I admit is a stretch, but I want to give him some recognition. Manzardo was acquired from the Rays for Aaron Eovaldi at last year's deadline, and he's done nothing but impress since. He turned heads in spring training, but he's already been sent back to minor league camp. And that's the reason he's a stretch. He's not on the 40-man, he didn't make the team for opening day. But if the 23-year-old slugger keeps it up, he may give the Guardians no choice but to call him up, and once he's up, who knows what happens. For NL Rookie of the Year, I'm looking at Cardinals shortstop Mason Wynn. Wynn debuted last season in August after St. Louis moved Paul DeJong at the deadline, and he got into 37 games. But he had a lot of trouble at the plate. He batted below the Mendoza line. He put up a dreadful 29 OPS+. But on the upside, he's only 22, and he's got the starting shortstop job to start the season. He's already an elite defender, so if he can take a step forward offensively, he's going to get the playing time to fully be in the mix for Rookie of the Year. For AL Cy Young, one of the guys who caught my eye is Logan Gilbert. He's 26, and he's never received Cy Young votes before, but he's coming off back-to-back very good years in the Mariners' rotation. He's not their ace, that's Luis Castillo, but he stays healthy, he eats innings, and he gets a lot of strikeouts. Gilbert's strikeout and walk rates are moving in the right direction. If that continues, he's going to break 200 strikeouts for the first time and be in the conversation for sure. I'm also looking at Nathan Eovaldi for AL Cy Young. He's a guy who's had the talent to win one of these for a long time, but he's missed some time nearly every season since 2014. And the one year when he didn't, 2021, he threw almost 200 innings, he struck out almost 200 batters, and he finished fourth in AL Cy Young voting. Coming off the Rangers' first World Series title, Eovaldi's set to start on opening day and headline a rotation that, at least for the first half of the year, looks pretty shallow. If he could stabilize it and get over the plateaus of 200 innings and 200 strikeouts, he'll get some recognition at the end of the year. And finally, my last pick to watch for AL Cy Young is a guy who wasn't really on my radar till the end of last year, Zack Eflin. He's getting the nod to start on opening day for Tampa Bay after a great first season with the Rays. He led the AL in wins with 16, he finished third in the AL in FIP, and second in WHIP and strikeout-to-walk ratio. The Rays are and have been magic with pitchers for a while, and Eflin's the most recent example. Last year he finished 6th in Cy Young voting, and if he keeps it up, he should finish higher this year. Now moving over to NL Cy Young, a guy I'm watching is Dylan Cease. Cease just came over to the Padres, and his 2023 was pretty rough, but the year before he was phenomenal. He led AL pitchers in WAR and finished second in AL Cy Young voting. And something about Cease that I find really interesting, Baseball Reference has this tool called similarity scores, and one of the most similar pitchers to Cease through their respective age 27 seasons is Max Scherzer. And looking back, there definitely are parallels. Both guys were great strikeout pitchers who struggled with giving up too many hits and walks. But at age 28, Scherzer took a massive step forward and he won his first Cy Young. I think the change of scenery and getting out of that disaster of a White Sox locker room is going to do wonders for Cease, and I wouldn't be surprised if he turns in a year worthy of the Cy Young. I'm also watching another former White Sox ace who recently moved from the AL to the NL, Chris Sale. Sale's probably the best active pitcher who has yet to win a Cy Young award. The 35-year-old southpaw had a crazy 7-year run from 2012 to 2018, in which he finished top 6 in Cy Young voting every year but never got over the hump. With his multitude of injuries seemingly behind him, Sale rebounded last year, with a 1.1 whip and 11 Ks per 9 across 20 starts. And he's had a very solid spring training with the Braves. He still gets batters to chase at an elite level, so if he manages to get to the 30-start level, this year he could absolutely be in the running. My last guy to watch for the NL Cy Young is Mitch Keller of the Pirates. I was surprised when I was researching for this video that Keller actually didn't get a vote last season. He broke out in the first half of 2023 as the Pirates' ace. Through 20 starts he had a 1.20 ERA+, and he was top 5 in the NL in innings pitched and strikeouts. And he made the All-Star game. While he struggled after that, he still managed to break 190 innings pitched and 200 strikeouts. He signed a big extension in the offseason, and he's set to start again on opening day. If he can start off strong like last season and keep it up through the season, he's going to get some votes for sure. Moving over to AL MVP, a guy I'm watching is Yandy Diaz.
Diaz has been one of the more underrated bats in the league, but last year he took a massive step forward. He won the AL batting title with a .330 average, he finished second in the league in OBP, and third in OPS+. He set career highs in homers and runs batted in, and he played elite defense at first. And he got some recognition for it. He made the All-Star game, he won the Silver Slugger, and he finished 6th in MVP voting. If he performs even close to last season, he's going to be near the top of voting again. Another guy I'm keeping my eye on for AL MVP is Royce Lewis of the Twins. Lewis is one of the more exciting stories in baseball in 2023. Coming off 2 tears of the same ACL in back-to-back years, the former first overall pick took over as the Twins' starting third baseman, and he was electric. He put up a .150 OPS+ and hit 15 homers in just 58 games, including 4 grand slams. And he was AL Rookie of the Month in September. In 6 playoff games, he hit 4 more homers as Minnesota won a playoff series for the first time in 2 decades. Lewis is about to turn 25, and he's expected to bat cleanup for the Twins. His rates from last year over a full 162 games would be 41 homers and more than 6 WAR. And while I don't think he's a guy who's going to play every game, I think 30 homers and 4 or 5 WAR isn't out of the question. And what I do know for sure is that he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. The last guy I'm keeping an eye on for AL MVP, super long shot pick here, it's Isaac Paredes of the Rays. Last year he hit 31 homers, 98 RBI, put up a .131 OPS+, and over 4 WAR. And for the first time he received down-ballot MVP votes. He's just 25 and he's been getting steadily better every year. So, given his talent, I think 40 homers and 100 RBIs isn't out of the question. And if he does that and he continues to play average defense at third, I wouldn't be too shocked to see him in the mix for AL MVP. Now for our last award, NL MVP, I'm going to preface things by saying I don't think any of these guys really have a shot at winning. The NL's so top-heavy between Acuna, Olsen, Freeman, Betts, and Shohei Ohtani joining the mix this year. But the 3 guys I've chosen are guys that I think could be top 5 in voting if things go their way. So first, I'm keeping an eye on Trey Turner this year. He had mostly a down year in 2023, his first with the Phillies, but there were some encouraging signs. His last 2 months were phenomenal, including a 10-game hitting streak, and he stole 30 bases without being caught. That's a new MLB record. Turner's led MLB in hits twice before and won the NL batting title in 2021. If he can get back to that level, which I think he certainly can, last August and September he batted .317 and had a 1. OPS. If he's even near those numbers in a full season, he has the name recognition to finish top 5. I'm also keeping an eye on Luis Arias of the Marlins. Arias is the best contact hitter in baseball. He's won batting titles and been an All-Star and Silver Slugger in back-to-back seasons. Last year he hit an MLB best .354, and as late as late June he was hitting over .400. In April he hit for the first ever Marlins cycle. Despite all that, all the historic seasons ahead of him brought him down to finishing just 8th in NL MVP voting. His defense certainly isn't anything special, and he's uncharacteristically slow for a contact hitter. But he has a phenomenal eye. He walks more than he strikes out, and for a guy whose baseline batting average is more than a bit over 300, a little more pop could put him in the conversation. And last up for the NL MVP, I'm watching Nolan Jones of the Rockies. Okay, this one's not going to happen for various reasons, but I want to talk about Nolan Jones. Cast off from the Guardians unceremoniously after the 2022 season, Jones joined the Rockies and had a massive rookie season. In 106 games, Jones hit 20 homers, stole 20 bases, and slashed .297, .389, .542 for a 138 OPS+ and 4.3 WAR. Between the homers, steals, and a cannon for an arm in the outfield, he's a walking highlight reel and already the Rockies' best player. Now there is the Coors Field effect, it's definitely going to hold him back, but Jones performed almost as well on the road as he did at home last year. In a full season, 30-30 is definitely a possibility, and even with the Coors effect, that should get some attention during voting season.
So which of these long shots do you think is most likely to win their respective award? Let me know down in the comments, and let me know if there's any players that I haven't mentioned that are long shots to win an award that you think could do it. If you made it this far, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.